Hey, it's Jer, and today I want to talk about Auro, a monster bumping adventure. This is one of my favorite, you almost call it a traditional roguelike, although it has some small maps, it has hex tiles, so it's not quite there. But there's a lot of tactics in this game. It does feel a little bit puzzly too. I think this thing is just an absolute blast. It's a steal for, I think it's $6 or $7 on Steam. Take a look at the pixel art. This is one of the most gorgeous title screens I've ever seen. Like, just handcrafted, a lot of effort put into this. The animations in the game, really satisfying. And it's kind of a brain burner. It can feel frustrating at times if you don't really know what you're doing, which you won't at first. And you get stuck in some situations which can be frustrating. But as you advance and get better, I mean, it feels really, really satisfying. The game also has a single-player ELO system, which is kind of unique, which is basically you're just playing for score on every round, and that score goal will increase every rank, basically. So you're just trying to climb up the rank, see how far you can get. Eventually you'll get to a rank which is basically represents your skill level, and then, well, at that point you'll probably be losing as much as you're winning, but it's going to meet you wherever you are. So the interesting thing about this game, actually, is it came out on PC in 2016. Before that, I think it was a mobile game. A lot of people take a look at it and think, oh, this is a mobile port. But at the time, even then, it wasn't really a mobile port. There was a lot of work put into it. It looked completely different than the mobile version. And the strange thing is, even though it was released in 2016, didn't get any updates for many years, it's not an early access. Out of the blue last year, 4 years after release, the devs decided to rewrite it or port it to Unity. And that allowed them to do... I think there was a problem with the code base or something. They didn't have access to the code, or it was an old version of some framework. They basically couldn't update the game. There was a lot of bugs at that time. And rewriting it or porting it to Unity has allowed them to solve like the vast majority of bugs, make it full screen, add all these new features. So I'm so pumped about this. I've got like 200 hours in this game, and I think more people should be playing it. So I want to tell you about the game a little bit. I also want to give some tips, because it can be quite hard. So I'm going to go into a custom game. I think this is actually a new feature. You can select your rank, whatever you want, up to 15, and you can play with a bunch of different options, which I have not really done. But I'm just going to start with like the lowest rank, tell you a little bit about the game so I don't have to think too hard. Then later I'll try something a little harder. So you come in, you have hex tiles in this game, which you can just walk around with the mouse. Pretty simple controls. And as opposed to most roguelikes where you just bump into monsters to damage them, in this game you can bump into monsters to push them. And that, combined with the water in the game, is pretty interesting mechanically. You can bump monsters into the water. And then the monsters each have their own unique abilities and behaviors. So for instance, there's a white rat that you saw. The white rat will just attack you, and then it'll rest for a few turns. Then there's a Kissy Rat. Let's take a look. You can examine anything in the game. Kissy Rats are simple monsters that kiss you while adjacent. So these are not a threat at all. These are the easiest monster in the game, and they actually kind of stand still for you to kill them. So these are going to help you a lot of times. Now, a few things to notice. On the right, we have a combo meter. And the way this works is, as you're killing monsters, you get more points, and you increase your combo meter multiplier. It starts out at like 3 or 4 when you first start the round, and slowly drops. And the whole point of every round is to hit a certain score goal. In this case, we're trying to hit 15. We currently have 9, so as soon as we hit 15 or higher, we win. The challenge, though, is that when you get the higher ranks, these score goals are going to be in the hundreds, and if your multiplier is 1, you're not going to have 100 monsters that you can even kill. So the name of the game here is all about combos. You kill a lot of monsters very quickly without letting your combo meter run down, and then you can exploit that to get a lot of points very quickly. And that's not just like a nice thing. A lot of games have combo meters, and they're part of the score system, or they make you a little bit more powerful, or give you a little bonus. In this game, like, you have to use the combo system, or you won't really be able to survive. The other thing to notice, let me just walk around a little bit. On the left here, we have our spells. So while you can push monsters, that's not going to let you kill most of the monsters. Some are, say, heavies, so they can't even be pushed. And then there's flyers, they can be pushed, but they won't fall into the water. So instead what we can do is maybe come down here. We have a spell. I'm going to go ahead and read it. The interesting thing about the spells actually is they seem pretty simple conceptually, but a lot of them have a lot of different effects at once. So this one will spin all the adjacent monsters, and then it says next turn they'll trail flame. So I'll just show you. It would be easier to just demonstrate it. So I have two options when I cast that spell. I can go counterclockwise or clockwise. It spins all the monsters around me in that direction. That helps me throw some monsters in the water where otherwise I wouldn't be able to. Another effect that's not even documented is it creates this thing called a vortex around the player. I don't think it lets you examine it, but this vortex thing is actually very important. It lets you push heavy monsters that you normally can't push. It lets you kind of bounce around if you land on one 2 tiles away. There's a lot of interesting terrain features in this game. So there's water, there's these vortexes, there's fire, ice, and you'll notice here there's these recharge tiles, power tiles. So basically you're taking all your cooldowns down by 1. And that's a big mechanically interesting part of the game too, because as you use all your spells, you can step on these tiles to get cooldown, but then sometimes it'll be very difficult to get to the tiles. So we use another spell. I almost feel like this is kind of reminiscent of like QWER in a MOBA, where you have 3 spells, 3 abilities, and then you have an ultimate. The last one is kind of a really powerful ability, and usually pretty expensive. So there we won that round. Let me go into one that's a little bit harder, maybe rank 15, and they'll give you an idea of some of the other stuff that's in the game. Oh my goodness. I don't know if this is just part of the custom game, but I don't even know what this monster is, so let's just come down here and see what it is. Very bizarre. A Furry Yeti freezes and throws monsters if they are pushed onto Yeti's tile, and will freeze and throw freeze and throw Auro. Auro's the main character when adjacent for 1 damage. Immune spell effects. Lure them to dangerous tiles. Oh my god, that's crazy. Yeah, honestly, I have no idea how to kill that guy. Let's see if we can just attack him like so. So I just used this spell. I have to stop myself from just playing so quickly. Flow. So you can create an area of slippery flow, which is basically ice tiles in any direction. Ice tiles are really great. They help you push heavies. Things slide around on them very far. Very, very important. Then you have a lot of mobility spells. So this one is called Jump. Jump in a hex diagonal direction, leaving a vortex. So we can jump basically along this diagonal down here. This guy is, I think, a heavy, I would assume. And I should be able to push him. It said he was immune to spell effects. Oh, but wait. Oh, he's immovable. Okay, well, that is a shame. What I'm going to do instead is try to push this guy. And this is a Flaming Lich. He's a flyer. He deals 1 point of damage from a 2-tile radius. So the Liches are very dangerous. Instead of freezing you, they give you basically fire, makes you trail flame. So every tile you move to, you'll leave flame wherever you were. Now thinking about it, I probably shouldn't have jumped into rank 15 right away. This guy is going to damage me. But now we can use a spell to kill this Lich. So in addition to your 4 normal spell slots, which are recharged with cooldowns, you have one-time use spell Rune. So this one is Snowball. You toss a snowball in a line, and it lands, I think, 2 tiles away, and then it changes the tile to ice that it lands on, but also knocks back any monster that's there, and freezes any monster around it. So the idea is if we use this, we can freeze a Lich. It won't be flying anymore or fall in the water and it'll kill it. Sounds pretty complicated, but you'll get used to that, and this is like a bread and butter technique right here. So he's dead. Those liches are very dangerous, so you'll be using a lot of these snowball things. Okay, well, here's something we might be able to do. These guys are called troggles. And basically, like, I think these are supposed to be like blind cave salamanders or something. The idea is that they can't see, so they get one turn to charge up and get ready to attack you. Also, they'll attack if you're adjacent, so you try to stay away from them. Then after they attack, after they charge up, they'll do a charge attack, and they'll land 2 tiles away. If I can get him to come onto this ice, though, then instead of hitting me, he'll slide through the ice into this fire. So you can see it's kind of involved. You're actually trying to combine your spells and the monster behavior and the terrain and the environmental hazards in order to kill monsters. So I really want to get away from here, so what I'm going to try to do is use this spell, and this is called Firebomb. Detonate a tile bumping adjacent monsters outward, leaving flame. So wherever I put it adjacent to me, there'll be a fire, like a flame there, and it'll push me away actually in anything adjacent to it. So I can use it to move around, I can use it to move monsters. So I'm going to use it to, if I click here, it'll push me this way. When I hit the vortex, I actually will fly 2 additional spaces, so I'll end up here. Far away from this guy. I'm hoping that this big monster, I've never even seen this Yeti, walks in the path of the troggle. We'll see what happens. I don't know how else to kill it. Oh, that didn't... Okay. Probably just lose this round. That's fine, because I don't know how to kill that guy. I'm just going to take some damage here. Let's see. Let me go through the monsters. Everything on screen, just kind of give you an idea of what's here. These are Fotsies. Basically, they throw some... What is it? A rock at you 2 tiles away. That is denoted by this little cross icon. These are, to be honest, quite annoying. These guys, they're tricksters. They switch positions with you, kind of like teleport wherever you are. You swap places with them every few turns. It can be... The interesting thing about this game is you can actually use the monster's abilities to your advantage. You have to do that. But also, because I'm in position, I can push him into the water. There's a rat. That's a simple rat that just attacks you. There's a bat. He's a flyer. One interesting thing about flyers is that they leave vortexes behind whenever they're pushed, but also can be killed by pushing them into a vortex. It's kind of weird in-game logic, but I've gotten so used to it, I guess it's fine. Yeah, I'm going to get demolished here. I'm just going to go for points, I guess, and push this guy. Okay, on the bottom, you also, in case you didn't see, you have 7 HP to start every round. One of the tips I would give people is that in normal roguelikes, you're trying to conserve your HP as much as possible, and you certainly don't want to waste it here, but I would actually think of it more like a resource than just something you're trying to stick to. Like, you don't really need to end the round full HP. You can actually end the round on 0 HP if you win on your very last turn, which is pretty funny. So just try to think about HP as a resource that you can spend. If it helps you get like a more efficient combo or helps you dodge a lot of damage, you take 1 hit, then you can later avoid other hits or something like that. So I know that if I walk into this tile, I'm going to get hit by the Fotsie. I may also get hit by this Lich, but I will get a spell. Oh, and the Fotsie, whenever she throws a rock at you, knocks you back. Okay, so this is a great example. I have a rotisserie spell, and I can use it to kill 2 of these monsters. Here's how. When I spin, if I spin the monsters counterclockwise, this Lich will go into the bat tile. So the bat's going to create a vortex, the Lich is going to get killed by that, the bat will fly off to the right, and the Troggle will get thrown into the water. So I got 2 out of 3 with 1 spell, which is not bad. And I'm already at 4 points, so I should have, one of these should be a 4-point tile, one should be a 5-point tile. Oh, okay, I went the wrong direction and still, okay, yeah, that was funny because I went completely the wrong direction, but still managed to kill 2 of them. The bat went into the Lich's tile, died, and then the Troggle flew off in the opposite direction. That's awkward. Let's see, what can we do here? I'm gonna take damage from this Lich guy. There's no getting around it. There's also some screen shake going on in this mode that I've never noticed. I'm guessing that's because of the Yeti. So I'm going to push this guy into the fire. That's pretty straightforward. What is this guy? Zappy Bat. A 1 damage melee range attack, then teleports. Oh my god. Oh yeah, and bats move 2 tiles per turn. That's awful. Okay. Okay, let me give you another tip. This may not work. You know what? This is probably going to kill me. That's okay. I think I want to get into a normal round. Basically, one thing you can do is you can escape. A lot of roguelikes have something like a teleport potion or something. A really great escape that throws you to the opposite side of the map. You don't have anything like that here exactly, but what you can do is if you get thrown into water, you teleport back to the start of the map. That sounds bad because you're taking damage by falling in the water. You take 1 point of damage. You're often taking extra damage from enemies, but it's a really great trade-off if you're surrounded by monsters, which I currently am. I'm not close to any spells or power tiles, so my best bet is going to be making a clear break. I'm probably going to die if this rat hits me. Another weird thing is that depending on the order of the monsters, like if the Foxy hits me first, I could fly into the water, but if the rat hits me first, I'll get damage, then take 1 damage from the Foxy, then fall in the water and take 3, I'll be dead. So there's a little bit of randomness based on when the monsters move, and that I have not really figured out. It's just kind of random. But I was lucky because the rat didn't hit me. These guys are Cinder Squids. They fly, if they hit you, they make you trail flame. And the most annoying thing is there's a couple monsters, these squid things, they don't give you any points. The one frustrating thing I'll say about this game is that, you know, when you first start in the ranks, things are very easy. Like when we saw the first example, the custom game at rank 1. Not hard at all. But then as you go up, you start getting things that not just push like the difficulty, but they completely change the mechanics where there's monsters that don't give you any points and you really have to work around them. But the interesting thing here is this monster can actually be abused. You can exploit the fire that they give you and that they create to kill other monsters. Very useful. So we don't want to get hit by this because we're almost dead. We'll push him away. We're going to have to push the bat away. Probably that's the end of the rope, but yeah, so I'm basically like checkmated here. That is fine. Huh. Oh, I guess the beta monsters are on automatically. I didn't realize that. Okay, so yeah, you can just turn those off, I guess. That's cool. And then you get a bunch of, like, you can pick your spells if you want to try out certain spells. That is really cool. And this is all stuff that did not exist like a year ago, and then they ported it to Unity, added a bunch of features, so that's pretty cool. So I'm going to get into the main game mode, and I'm currently on rank 25. I'm by no means the best player at this game. There is somebody called Toad Racer who is currently at around 33 and still going. It's pretty wild. The person's actually mentioned in the achievements because apparently they played the game so much. But 25 is actually the last achievement you get for getting to a certain rank. So I guess you've beaten the game at this point, but you can keep going. So we need to get 75 points on this round in order to win. Okay. So, again, just to reiterate, one of the best tips I can give for this game, and kind of crucial, is you've got to play around the combo system. If you do not do that, you're just going to be dead in the water. If your combo multiplier drops to 1, you're just not going to have the points. And it's actually hard to recover from that, because like when you're in 1, the first monster you kill, you get 1.4. And then if you kill another monster like a few turns later, you'll be back to 1, so you've really got to put things together very quickly. And I could try to walk like around and find a bunch of monsters and try to do a big play, which is great, but I need to do things right away because I start with a high score multiplier. If I started with 1, it'd be a lot different, but you start at 4, which is... the multipliers are 1, 3, you skip 2 for some reason, and then 4 and 5. And 4 and 5 don't last for very long, so like the bread and butter of your point totals will probably be 3. And if you can get 4 or 5, that's great. So you always start at the bottom of the map. The map is basically a circle of tiles. You've got water on the center and water on the edges, and then a lot of randomness, obviously. When I'm first starting, not only am I thinking I've got to play around the combo system, I need to get monsters as fast as I possibly can and start killing them, but I also need to think about the recharges, because if I blow all my spells, I'm going to have a really hard time. I won't have any mobility, I won't have any kill potential, so I'm looking at like the terrain, I'm looking at the monsters available. Unfortunately, you can't see very far, which is a little odd. Maybe that's some of the complaints that you see is when people complain about it looking like a mobile game, it has a little bit of a weird user interface where the HUD takes up so much of the space. But it's not terrible. I think it's fine. So the things I know I can kill, this guy down here, he's a slime. He will push you, and then if you push them, they will flatten down into a springboard. You won't be able to push them for like 3 turns, but you can like jump over them. I mean, there's like every monster and every spell just has like so much going on with them, and there's a good number of them, so there's a lot of depth in this game. I know for certain I can kill this guy, this Troggle guy, and it's probably not optimal. I want to go ahead and just do it to show you something. So I'm going to use the flow. It's going to make all these tiles ice. This Fotsy enemy is going to be frozen in place, won't be able to move. When I move here, I can get this guy to attack. Hopefully it's going to go right through, kill this Fotsy, land in the ice and die. There may have been a change where they'll still attack you if they land on the ice. I'm not sure. That would be unfortunate. But I've also got another Troggle up here, which I can essentially do the same thing. And that's got to be worthwhile. So, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this rotisserie because I want to make a vortex here. So I don't want to get hit. If I can make a vortex, the Troggle will fly off the vortex and land over here. So that is preferable. Kill the Fotsy. Not what I wanted to do. Okay, I'll take the damage. So I took 1 damage from this guy. He goes like goes to sleep basically. Won't attack me for a few turns. Another frustrating thing, just have to point this out, is as you're starting in the low ranks, you won't see any of these, but as you go on, there's these Kraken things. They're kind of blocking the water. Like you can't push monsters into them unless they're heavy monsters. The heavy monsters will kill them, or if they're frozen, they'll kill them. Instead, you really have to play around these Krakens. And they're often blocking the edge of, not blocking the edge of the water, like the tiles near the water, but they will attack you. So as you go up higher in the ranks, there's like more and more of them. It's just like, but that's okay. I think we should be fine just walking down. Yeah, so good potential here. Killed the Cinder Squid. We get combo meter for that. We don't get points, but upping our combo meter helps us get more points. We get, you see the color of the tile is actually nice. The gold is 5 points, so that tells us that the Troggle died for 5 points. And we're up to 13, we need to get to 75. Okay, so, and in addition, that Kraken thing was killed. That actually really helps us because we won't have to deal with it going forward. What do I want to do here? I'm just kind of walking around, seeing what I can get. I know if I could get behind this guy, I could kill him, but that may not be a good idea. If I walk here, I'll get bumped by the slime. I get a little bit more distance to the right, and I can start getting power tiles, so that's what I'm going to try to do. You can already see I have the 5 and 4 multipliers. They fall away so quickly. I think in 2 turns each. So you're going to get a lot of 3s, you really don't want to drop down into ones. Okay, so I know here this guy's near the edge. That's really what you want to see. You want to see monsters around the edge. I will use my jump ability to jump in. I don't want him walking closer to me because then I won't be able to push him. It would be really hard to get him back in position. Again, going back to the combo system, you really want to spam your spells, which seems completely counterintuitive to most games. It feels like a waste. But if you're not spamming spells, and they are rechargeable, so as soon as you get the recharge, you use all of them again. You see the highest cooldown I have is 4, so if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got all my spells back. Or I go just one tile, I get one of my spells back. So, name of the game is spamming spells, really. Okay, so these guys, again, they're flyers. They will die with a vortex. I will attack him there. Get bumped by that guy. The monster movement is also something you have to wrap your head around. It seems random. There's some logic to it. So, like, in that case, for whatever reason, that monster would never move into position where the slime was. I'm not quite sure why, but you get a feel for those kind of things. So if I push him here, I know I can use this bomb spell to throw him into the water. These guys, in case I didn't cover them, they do 2 damage, which is really painful, considering you only have 7 HP. And when they die, they spawn a flying curse squid, which is kind of like the Cinder Squid, but doesn't have any fire elements to it. Could also use I could also freeze this guy, but I think in this case... No, I changed my mind, actually. Yeah, the problem is if I put the Firebomb here, it's going to make my path to get to these tiles harder. It actually will block this tile. I either have to walk into the fire and take damage and get the power tile, or I have to completely walk around. So it would be better if I could do something else. Now, the problem if I use the flow, that will turn these into ice until the ice melts, which takes maybe like 7 or 8 turns, or maybe it's like 10, I'm not sure. That also blocks you from getting doesn't block you from moving, but it blocks you from absorbing the power tiles. So I know if I move here, he should move here. And I know that I should be able to do the same thing I was planning before. Knocks me away a little bit, but now I have an easier path to get up here. I'll grab this rune. Once again, that is like a one-time use kind of thing. Now I've got these guys coming up. Let me tell you about them. I know ahead of time they're heavy. I can kill them with ice by... Let me just show you. If I put the ice down here, he will be lured into walking on it. If he's heavy, he'll just crush it and fall in. I'm sure I'll see those again. I'll identify them again, but they are super annoying because they actually, every few turns, spawn the Cinder Squids. And that gets really oppressive if you've got those coming out every 3 or 4 turns and the whole map fills up with them. Okay. As you can see, these squid things, they're not going to offer me any points if I kill them. They're hard to kill because they're flying. I can't just push them in the water. And they're going to cause problems with the fire. It's just kind of a nightmare all around. So, what can I do? I could... Huh. This is a little tricky. You know, I kind of would like to kill both these guys with the fire. But in order to do that... So if I use this fire building, let's take a look at it. Blast hits a line of tiles, killing monsters, leaving flames, and bumping you back. So it will kill 2 monsters in a row. It's really, like, I think it's the only spell in the game that actually directly damages monsters. So it's very powerful, but it only hits 2 tiles. Some of the other ultimates, you can almost wipe out the whole screen if you do it right. And it will knock me back. So if I were here, like if I were this tile in front of the Fotsy, it would knock me into the water. And it would take me back to the beginning, and then it would deal 1 damage, which might be worth it, but I'd rather not take the damage. So if I put down some... So I was going to say if I put down some ice, I could avoid that, but actually it would be a continuous line of ice into the water. Okay, let's try... Let's try going here. I don't know. I'm kind of out of ideas. Okay. I know I can kill this guy by knocking him into the vortex. Not going to do a lot for me, and this Fatsu's going to hit me regardless. I didn't mean to do that, but let's just go with it. Now I'm free to attack that guy. How about here? If we go here, we'll be able to kill both these guys. Gotta say I'm worried about this Fire Lich. The Liches are pretty hardcore. But getting two monsters at once is what's the best. This is bad. Okay. Normally, the very easy way to kill these Troggles, if you can get in this kind of position where there is them and then 3 more tiles and then water, they will come here. I can use some ability that creates a vortex. They'll fly into the water, which is 2 tiles away. Very consistent kind of pattern there. The problem now is that I really would like to get in place for killing this Lich. If I put the bomb down, I can kill this squid thing. That would be helpful. I mean, it would give me some points, but I'm already at 5, so it's probably not going to help. Instead... I don't have a lot of good ideas here. Maybe we'll just take some damage. I think if I can get these 2 tiles, I'll be in a better position. I'll have more spells available. I don't know, it's just kind of an intuition. You know what? I can just kill this guy with the fire, with the flow. Yeah, let's just get some points. Take the damage from this guy. And... okay, let's take a look at this brute and tell you about him. He's heavy, he bounces you 2 tiles away. If things are knocked into him, they also bounce back 2 tiles. So the heavies are kind of hard to kill. And there is the Lord Vargas. The one thing that's really interesting about both Auro and some of the other games made by Dino Farm Games, who made Auro, is the monsters and the themes are very, kind of seems random. Like you've got like a cave salamander, and then you've got like squids, flying squids, and krakens. And okay, so we've got Lord Vargas. Maybe it's supposed to be like almost like a Dracula type figure. I'm not really sure, but he spawns the Cinder Squids. Those are very hard to deal with. At this point, I'm almost thinking like, can I just get away? Because I'm gonna have trouble with a lot of these monsters. I know I can kill Vargas if he walks down under the ice, and I can push him away. So that may be my best bet. But I can kill the slime immediately too. And he walked into a tile that was about to, an ice tile that was about to go away, I think is what happened. Okay, didn't see that coming, but that's fine. Alright, I think this is a good play. I only have 4 HP, I want to try to conserve it, but I can kill the Lich. May not be obvious why. Like I said, there's a lot going on in this game. If I walk into one of these fire tiles, I don't think you can examine it, but if I walk into a fire tile, it will blow away like everything around it and kind of knock it back like a bomb effect. That will shoot the Lich up to 2 tiles away. It'll hit the Kraken. The Kraken bounces things back 2 tiles, so the Kraken will bounce the Lich back into the vortex and kill it. This should also knock the big brute guy back 2 tiles. The bat should fly even further away, so I should get some good point values for this. For 1 damage, and the fact I'm about to take more damage from the Lich, I think it's a good trade. I may have said the Lich left a vortex. I think the normal Lich leaves a vortex. Like there's another Lich monster that freezes you. They leave a vortex. This one leaves a flame. Similar thing. We'll just kill this guy in the same manner. And wow, they're just lining up for us. That's funny because that doesn't typically happen. One of the interesting things about the design history of this game that I read is that in an early version, you could just push monsters into the water over and over and over, and if they came in like a conga line and just presented themselves to you, you could just push them indefinitely. But if you think about that mechanically, it's a little too easy, right? So instead, when you push a monster into the water, they create a tile, which you've seen many times, and that prevents that, that thing from being abused. It's pretty clever, actually. Okay, so we have some good spells to take out this guy. And just the same setup you saw before. This is one of the normal Liches. I don't think we've seen a lot of them, but they freeze you for a turn. Again, you can abuse this you can abuse a lot of the monsters in the game and utilize their abilities for your own benefit. Now, while you do take damage, if you're completely surrounded by a bunch of things that are going to attack you, if you get frozen by the Lich, you don't take any damage until you're melted or whatever. But he should die in a similar manner. He bounces back. You notice the Krakens, they have a behavior where they move every turn, so there's kind of like a parity thing going on. Sometimes if you keep that in mind, it'll help you get some of the tiles that are nearby. So I know, for instance, like this guy has to move away, so if I move here, I'll have the opportunity to get into this tile. That can be helpful. Trying to think now if I just can go ahead and kill some people. So I'm going to jump over here, push the rat in. What do we want to do here? A little low on tiles, but... Well, one thing we can do, which is a fun little mechanic, is we can make a bunch of flow in the water and then just get the heavy to follow us in. And that typically works pretty well. I'd like to blast this guy, but I don't want to fall in the water. But another thing... Oh yeah, so if we freeze him, he'll fall in the water. We have room to do that. Boom, there we go. Okay, we are at 5 multiplier. We're doing great. We just need... That's going to go away so quick we won't be able to get it, but we probably need like maybe 3 or 4 more kills. This should be basically free with the fire. I like to use fire on 2 enemies, but probably... I was going to say probably not going to happen, but maybe... Oh man, I think I messed this up a little bit. Yeah, I definitely messed this up. Well, so I was hoping if I could walk back, then I could use the bomb to push him into the vortex. Like, so if you push a monster that's in a vortex that gets killed by a vortex, they die. Don't know if it makes sense, but there it is. Instead, I'm thinking I just need to get away at this point and get some more spells. I think I just messed up the positioning a little bit. I can fly across this ice down here by pushing myself with the bomb. When you see this kind of pattern and you've got this enemy, especially an enemy that does 2 damage to you, being on the outside edge, it's like the opposite of where you want to be. You want to be able to push them into the water, and well, while they can't push you into the water, you can't really do jack to them. I'm going to fly over here. Yeah, let's just go ahead and kill this guy. Annoying thing is that the fire is going to block the power tiles unless I want to walk into it, but, you know, at this point, fair trade. Go down. This is a free kill if I push him into the fire. And one more. Can we get one more? Yeah, let's freeze. I think he'll go over, but then he'll come back and land on here. And then, oh, I think we still need 1 kill. I gotta be honest, I'm not sure what these 6 red tiles are. I believe this is just a bug, actually. No idea. Push him off. There we go. 77 points, and we win. Alright, we want to do one more, maybe play it a little bit faster. But you see, like, the cool thing about this game, it's a brain burner, but it can also be very tense. when you get to higher ranks, there's very little room for mistake, and also a lot of times you think you're completely screwed and you can't win, and then for whatever reason get in this position, you pull off a big play, and you know, and you like snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat, or whatever the saying is. Feels really great. So in this case, these guys are kind of annoying. I got the Cinder Squid here. I know I have a Lich over here, and I can kill Liches pretty easily with the Snowball. So that is what I would preferably like to do. But I'm gonna have to move fast because he's gonna get closer to me. You know what? I'd like to tackle both these guys. So get him here, and then I don't want to walk next to this Troggle. Yeah, let's just this Snowball will push him into the water. That will be perfect. Okay, cool. When I get within 2 tiles of this Trickster guy, he's gonna switch with me. That might be okay. I can take this guy out, push him. There wasn't a lot of strategy to that. It was basically luck. Doing good on the multiplier. Now I just want to get some spells back. Okay. Yeah, this is a little annoying. I'm like within 1 turn of being able to kill him. I could freeze him and push him in, but he will wake up within a single turn. So what I'm going to do instead is just push him away, give myself some time to deal with that. Okay. And I need to get closer to him to push him, so I'll push myself using the bomb. That worked out pretty well. And then I will lure this guy on Vice. And even though it seems like a waste sometimes to kill these guys, these squids, because they don't give any points, you know, I'm going to recharge all my spells anyway, so might as well get the multiplier up a little bit. Okay. I know if I can get him pushed here, if I can get him pushed here, then I can do the Snowball. Bats are pretty easy to kill over the course of a couple turns, because you can just kind of walk them back to their vortex tile. So that's not too bad. Okay. New enemy that I haven't seen, I think it's part of the rewrite, is Charles, which is, again, going back to the very eclectic theme. It's very bizarre. But they're a slime. They can't be flattened like normal slimes. They push you back 2 tiles and deal 1 damage. Oh, and when you bump them, you get pushed back as well. So some of that behavior is not even documented here. They're a little bit tricky to deal with, but we know at least we can freeze and I think kill 1. Yeah, we kill 1 of them, and then we can put, like, as long as we get these heavies onto ice, that's easy. That's good luck. Oh man, making it look easy, but it's really not. I'm going to rotisserie this guy into the water. I mean, anytime you have rotisserie, it's one of the most powerful spells in the game. It makes things pretty easy. Here's a good example of why these Krakens are annoying. I could use normally my bomb, push him, use the bomb, but that won't work. Instead, it won't work because the Kraken was there. I could have used a Snowball, but the Kraken moved away. So I will use a Snowball to get him into the water. If a lot of what I'm saying doesn't make any sense, you know, just this game takes a lot of practice, but the basic idea, I think, what I want to try to demonstrate is that you just have to move very quickly between your different, like, battles. And if you don't do that, you're going to lose your points so quickly. Just to show you what this spell is, it's pretty powerful. Freeze and hurl adjacent monsters 2 tiles back over your head. So anything that is on the opposite side, I can throw into the water. Usually you want to try to get like 2 or 3 monsters at one time. That's just to give a demonstration. These Fotsies are definitely one of the most annoying enemies. So in this instance, like for instance, it shows me where I'm threatened. I can't walk here or I'll get attacked by this cinder thing. And if I keep walking back, they're going to just keep putting me in the same position. So, not sure what I should do, honestly. Maybe it would help to have another spell, though. You know what? Maybe I'll just... This like, thin ice? I'm not sure what you would want to call it. That's pretty useful, just thing to have in general, so... Okay. Yeah, killed him with the thin ice. I can kill this guy, but I think it just demonstrates, as you see the red, I took too many turns walking into a combat and then just walking away and retreating. And in this game, it's much better to go all in, like, go totally ham, because you want to get the points back to back to back. And that's risky, right? Like, it's a push your luck kind of mechanic, but if you don't do that, score meter is going to punish you. And you see the red tile is evidence of that. I'm out of that pretty quickly, luckily. Alright, so Snowball will take care of her. In a position, though, where I can't really do anything with this guy without taking damage. So what do I want to do? I'm gonna just push myself out of harm's way. And I really want to just get him away from me. And you can kind of play this game where you're just pushing him back, and that works. But you see I lost a lot of my combo meter doing that. Okay. Back in business. You know, I'm actually going to walk here, take damage from him just because I don't want to waste time going around this block. Push him, use the snowball again. You see again, I'm losing my combo meter back in the red. But I think I'm doing okay in this round. Yeah, I feel pretty good. Got a lot of power tiles. When you start to get starved for power tiles, that's also a problem. Alright, what can I kill here? Doesn't look like a lot. It's going to be easy. And I'd like to try to lure this guy a little bit back to the north, so I can use a classic, like, vortex into the water trick, but I can't do that without taking damage from him. So I will just use the snowball again. That is a pretty reliable spell. Okay, well, I'm going to just walk down here and get some tiles going. I know if I walk down, I'm gonna trigger the Troggle to be upset at me. I can live with that. I think this ability, although this is not documented, I think it freezes your current tile. So I can flip this guy over onto the rat for some points, and then he's gonna slide. Then if I can make the rest of this ice, the Troggle will go right in the water. Which is a pretty good move. And yeah, then I'll just bounce away to these tiles to get some more charge. Oh, and luckily the Lich died as well. Just gonna snowball over here, kill the Fotsy. And I just need... so close. Okay, yeah. If I can just kill the Lich, that's that round. Okay, so I just won 2 games in a row. Gotta be honest, that's not how this game normally goes. There's a lot of losses going on when you get to the right rank that you're supposed to be at. But that's how it plays out. Hope that was enjoyable. Hope that I gave some tips that can help. The main thing that I have to communicate is just, you know, use your spells. Don't conserve them. It's not going to work. Spam spells. Try to get that combo meter up, and make big plays. So yeah, highly recommend this game. I've got 200 plus hours in it. Probably played over 1,000 rounds. The one thing I really like about this game that other games don't have is, one, you can play it with like just the mouse. So if you're busy, like, okay, I've got 2 kids. If I'm holding a baby, I can just play the game. You know, that's great. Not a lot of games are like that these days. And then if I only have 5 minutes to play, I can get around in very quickly. Like if I'm not talking and, you know, I can just really focus. I know I can get around in and make a little bit of progress in 5 minutes. It's also, you don't see a lot of games like that either. So it's probably part of the reason why I have 1,000 rounds in. All right, go buy this game. $7 on Steam, I think, but you can get it on sale for $2 or $3. It's a steal.